That's the beginning of modern loneliness. That's what's happening with a lot of younger people these days. They experience a lot of half-there-ness. Do I matter? Who hears me? Who cares? Who pays attention? That becomes ambiguous loss.
Relationships, we kind of all just think that they just happen. And if it doesn't happen perfectly, then it's broken and I need to find a new one.
Yeah, that's a terrible way to think. If you give the best of yourself at work, if you bring the leftovers home, if when you come home you say, I've given everything I had, now I'm just putting my feet on the table, I just need to chill, I don't want to make any effort, slowly your relationship degrades, period. Basically, if people were able to put a little bit of creativity, attention into their relationships as they do with their customers or their guests, relationships would be doing a lot better and my profession would be seeing a lot less people. I mean, there's no doubt. And why are people so lazy, so complacent, so unimaginative with their relationships at home? I mean, like here, you're not taking out your phone. You're looking at me, you're paying attention on occasion, you look for your questions and where we go. But basically, you're with me. But at home, if you do this or this...
Looking at my phone.
And then when the person tells you something really important, you go, You're kind of there but not present. That's the beginning of a kind of modern loneliness, actually, is that this idea that you can share something really important to someone who is half there. And I think that that's what's happening with a lot of younger people these days, is that they experience a lot of half-there-ness. That begins to cultivate a real sense of loneliness that has to do not with I'm physically alone, that has to do with do I matter? Who hears me? Who cares? Who pays attention?
Just because someone was on their phone?
Well, it's not just on the phone. It's on the phone means I am continuously saying something is more important than you. There's a term I've been using for this. I borrow from something else. It's called ambiguous loss. Have you ever heard of this term?
Ambiguous loss?
Yeah.
No.
Ambiguous loss is a term that was developed by a colleague, Pauline Boss, a wonderful psychologist, when she talked about what happens when you have a parent, for example, that has Alzheimer. They are physically present, but they are psychologically gone. They're emotionally absent. And you can't really mourn them because they're still physically there, but you're caught in this in-between, in this ambiguous loss. Because you've been at work, you've been at like a computer, you come home, you think, I'm so happy to finally let go of the computer, you turn on the TV, and then you turn on the phone at the same time. You're watching here, you're watching there, and there's a person next to you. And most likely, they often do the same thing in the end too. Gradually, there is less and less of a thread of conversation, of connection, of joy, of intimacy, all of what. That becomes ambiguous loss. Somebody is there, but they're not really present. Once you understood the figure eight and how we create the other, you understand that if you do something else, sooner or later, they do something else too. So if you want to change the other, change you.